In this video, we're going to look at a Python program that uses the RE, the regular expression module. We're going to use it. We're going to have some sort of complicated string that we're interested in sort of simplifying, getting parts of, and what have you. We're going to use regular expressions to get that. The code for this example can be found at the URL seen here. Okay, so I'm just going to I'm importing the regular expression, the RE module. And then I just have this thing that I'm calling test, which is just some big complicated expression with small letters and capital letters and numbers and symbols and spaces and just things that I might want to get rid of. And then I want to start looking at how that can be done with regular expressions. And I'm going to be using the regular expression module. And there are other things that the regular expressions can do. You can use them to split things. You can use them to test matching. I'm going to use it for replacing, for substituting, for getting rid of things. So I'm going to, and I'm working, one time I will create an object and work with it, but mainly I am working with the class, but I'm sending it a regular expression object here. So if I work with the class, RE, the class, and I'm using the sub method, so if I'm working with the class, then the first argument is a regular expression, which gets turned into a regular expression object. Then down here at one stage near the end, I make a regular expression and then I work with that object. But mainly I'm working in this class. I work with the class, a method of the class, then a regular expression object, and then I'm doing a substitute. So I'm going to find something, replace it, and what am I looking in? And it usually just does this in its memory. And so then if I want to remember the results, I'm making it equal, I'm assigning all that to test one. So test really in the end is untouched. The substitution is then I'm mapping it over to test one. And then I sort of say what I'm doing. I'm eliminating white space in this example. And then I put in the original test and what I got out of from the substitution, test one, and I'm putting square brackets around them, or vertical lines around them so that you can sort of see, just where they begin and end. So \S is white space. I'm adding the plus, so sort of any amount of white space. So I'm going to get rid of any amount of white space and show. So let me run that, and then I'll keep sort of scrolling up and down, showing you the results. So the first one here, probably need a little bit more room here. Here is eliminate white space. And so I had this between the vertical bars, this long expression with some spaces, and I got rid of all space. So that's what was here. Then now I'm going to get rid of numbers, and I'm using the built-in expression for numbers \D. And so that is for digits. So it's going to get rid of all of the digits. And again, find digits, replace them with nothing in test, and then that result will be called test one, and then show them. And so that was down here, eliminate the numbers. And you see here here was 1, 2, 3, and then later I have a 7 and an 8, 9, and all those numbers are gone. And down here, I'm doing it again. And I'm just showing you a different way to represent numbers. So the square bracket gives you sort of call it a set of things to eliminate, and you can work with ranges. And so I'm constructing here a regular expression that is the set or range of digits from 0 to 9, and replacing it with nothing in the original string text, and making it test 1A and then showing. And so that's just a different way of getting rid of the digits, so they both give you the same answer. The next thing I'm going to do is get rid of capital letters. So I am making a set of capital A to capital Z. So that is going to be just that's the capital letters. And I am, again, substituting them with nothing. And then I'm calling that test2. And so here is that result. Down here, eliminating capital letters. And so the capital letters were the THE here, and then that T over there. And so we see the THE after that, before the at was eliminated, and the T just after this pound sign or hashtag, that was eliminated. And so that was a set of letters, a range of letters from capital A to capital Z, and we got rid of them. Okay, now we can get rid of all the letters by going A to Z followed by A Z, capital A to capital Z and little a to little z. So that is both the capital and the small letters in that set. So this is eliminate all the letters. And so we get rid of the A, B, C in the front, and the capital THE, and the capital T, and the whatever. And all of that is gone. So that was this regular expression here. The next example here, test 4, shows what happens in a regular expression and when we have the square brackets, when we're creating a sort of a set, a range. If we put a caret at the beginning, that within these square brackets, the caret represents a sort of a not. So this means anything that is not a letter, not a capital letter or a small letter. You have to be careful. The caret outside of square brackets has a different meaning. Then it's an anchor, and it's looking for a pattern. In that case, at the beginning of the string. So you're looking in a string, and a caret in a regular expression at the beginning means I'm looking for something at the beginning. I'm looking for a match at the beginning. But this caret is in the square brackets, and in the square brackets, the caret means not, sort of invert. So find everything that's not in this set, in this range, everything that's not a letter, and get rid of it. So I'm getting rid of everything that's not letters here in this example. Here's everything that's not a letter. And so I'm keeping just the letters, A, B, C, capital THE, capital T, there's a little D in there, and a whatever. So that was that regular expression. And then I wanted to get rid of punctuation. And now you could call, one possibility is for you to call punctuation. Depends what you mean by punctuation. But I could sort of do everything that's not a digit, not a small letter, not a capital letter, not white space. So I could use what I've seen above with the square brackets and my caret to do inverting. So that's one way that I could get rid of punctuation. There's another way with a translate, with just a sort of a string thing. But this was about regular expressions, so I wanted to do it in regular expressions. and here's the Stack Overflow reference, and I used, so I wanted to take out the punctuation uh, with specifically in an irregular expression sort of approach, and there are other approaches. And so there's a translate way to do it without regular expressions at all. We can work with the regular expressions with the square bracket sets and do everything that's not not letters, not numbers, not white space. That's an approach. But I wanted to take this more, I don't know, I'll say direct approach. So the string module has a uh, constant that is sort of all the punctuation marks. So instead of me having to remember what corresponds to a punctuation mark, and I might forget one, I'm going to rely on the punctuation marks that come from a string. Now, there's an issue here in that within the punctuation marks, um, a number of them have meanings, like square brackets or pluses or dots. There, some of these things have meanings within uh, regular expressions. And so one thing we have to do with this string dot punctuate is to an escape. So when you escape something, you take away its sort of special role and make it sort of stand in just for itself. So in a regular expression, a dot sort of stands for a thing, like anything that might occur. That's a dot means sort of some character. But a backslash dot, an escaped dot, would be, look for an actual period within the thing. So that's the purpose of this re escape. Put in backslashes where needed, so that the punctuation marks are themselves and not some special role they might play in the regular expression. Then I want to put them in a set, so we're sort of concatenating them with square brackets, and then we're using a compile. So we're turning this sort of monstrosity here back into a regular expression. So now I have this thing I called punk, which was I've used the string dot punctuation. I've escaped it where I needed to, and I've then turned it in back and converted all that into a regular expression. And then I'm going to use it to get rid of punctuation. So just in terms of what I was doing above, I could work with the class and use the sub method of the class, and then I would send it the regular expression, and then what I wanted to substitute it with and what I wanted to substitute it in. So I look for this pattern in test and replace it with nothing. But since I had created the object sort of explicitly, then I decided to take this other approach where I start with the object and do the sub method, working this time with the object. And then I don't need a regular expression. I don't need that first argument. When I work with the class, I need the regular expression object as the first argument. But when I work with the object, then that's implied, and I don't need that. So then I just go down to the second and third arguments, what I'm replacing it with, nothing, quote, quote, and what I'm looking in test. And so then that was finally my last version down here. I'm eliminating the punctuation. So I'm looking to I got rid of the underscores, I got rid of the at, the exclamation, the percent, the dollar, or the dollar sign, the pound sign. I got rid of all of the punctuation. I kept the spaces, I kept the letters, I kept the numbers. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you, playing around with regular expressions and using it to pull out what I don't want in various strings. Thanks for your attention.